It's time for the absolutely... I'm on my way! Completely... I'm almost there! Random... Why are there so many stairs? Podcast. Oh, jeez! With Andrew Rhodes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the absolutely, completely random podcast for Saturday, December 15th, 2018. My name's Andrew Rhodes. I'll be your host, as always, here as we go through the fun-filled journey of stuff that I found on the internet through the week, and that I get back to you with some wonderful, wonderful little tidbits of information and some fun jokes sitting every now and then aside. Joining me is sadly no one, because I'm always solo here, with the occasional voiceover by Professor Klump. Unfortunately, he's out of town. Yeah, I know. But hey, he's a busy professor, seminars and everything else, and he's out of town. Anyway, what do I have to talk about this week? Well, believe it or not, I got a lot to talk about this week. NASA. Yes, that's right, NASA, the National Air and Space Association, is offering some tips to save Tony Stark. Yes, that's right. This is in response to the Avengers trailer that I talked about last week. So this is actually pretty cool. And they're giving some ideas on how to possibly save him, which works out really well because, honestly, they would have an idea because they did help with the Apollo 13 and everything else. So that's going to be pretty cool to talk about. Netflix has got their hands on another anime series, and this one they've decided to do a CG sort of deal on. That's Knights of the Zodiac, also known as Saint Seiya. Yep, or Seiya, I should say. They have released the English dub trailer, or the teaser trailer, I should say, for this new CGI sort of deal. And yeah, fans aren't taking too well to that. Let's see, what else? Excuse me, I had to sneeze there. Oh yeah, Riki Kawahara, the creator of Sword Art Online, is apologizing to the voice actors after last week's Sword Art Online episode, which I will be talking about because, dear God, that was dark. Holy crap, was that dark. I'm not even joking. And Tales of Crestoria, the smartphone game's full concept video has been streamed, so that's going to be entertaining. All this and more here on the podcast, but you know the drill by now. If you're in the market for any strange oddities, what have you, check out my eBay page, ARHOADS-2012 on eBay. I have a wide variety of strange and unusual things, all for the wonderful, wonderful desires of you, the consumer. And with the holidays fast approaching, make sure you get your orders in before the USPS postal cutoff times. Which would be about the 20th or the 21st. I won't be able to ship anything out first class after that date. It won't get there in time for Christmas. But if you don't mind waiting till after the holidays, feel free to buy whenever you feel like it. Hey, even after the holidays, when you get some of that extra cash, you never know, the good stuff. Feel free to check it out. That's ARHOADS-2012. You can also follow me on Twitter at OtakuRhodes, and check out the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page. Alright, so before we get into how my week went, I just want to give everybody a heads up. If I sound a little stuffy, I believe I have caught the bug that's going around, or I just have a cold. Yes, you can thank the fact that I have to work in sometimes sub-zero temperature, the odd and really screwed up hours I've been keeping, the fact that I just caught something that's going around, everything else, because that's just the way stuff seems to be going with me. How was my week in general? Well, let me put it to you this way. I somehow have the ability to see into the future, but not well enough to get myself winning lottery numbers. Had a long week at work. In fact, it ended this morning happily. I should say unhappily, with me slicing my finger open, basically, which was a lot of fun. So I have that I'm dealing with, and that really hurts. So there's that. Then I caught a cold, which I have a cough drop for, so I don't cough the whole time, and I still have some soda yet to try to keep me awake. Hopefully, Knock on wood and cross our fingers. I should only have one more week of night shift to go. However, it is rumored that it is tentative we will be working on either Christmas Eve and or Christmas Day this year, which does not have most of us happy. But then again, what the hell? We're pulling a really elongated week this week, which brings up another point, because I've been trying to do uploads every day of the week, minus Tuesdays and Fridays. This week might be a little sporadic. First off, I'm going to try recording as much as I can the night after the podcast, but if I can't, there's a reason. Besides the fact that I really want to get some sleep, there is also I'm a little stuffy, I'm not feeling that great, but I will try my best to get everything uploaded this week. It'll be a little later than normal. I like to upload stuff in the morning. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have that option this week, with the exception of Wednesday, because I'm working till about 7:30 in the morning, which means that till I get home, it's going to be about 8 o'clock. And I am going to be wiped, because I'll be doing an 8-hour shift for 5 days this week. So I will be wiped. It's safe to say. And if I am awake, it's going to be a miracle upon miracles, and I'm not even joking on that. So there's no guarantee that I'll be able to get everything up this week, but I am going to try, hopefully. That's why I said I'm going to record as much as I can tonight. After the podcast, I'm going to fix up the videos tomorrow while the podcast is uploading. And if everything goes according to plan and the moon is in the correct alignment and Uranus is in Neptune's Pluto, I should be able to upload everything at night before I go to work. Hopefully. There's a God, maybe, I don't know. But it would be nice to hopefully have that done. But anyway, that's the plan for this week, I'm hoping. Q&A video is still on track yet. I will try to record it. I know I don't have to work on the 22nd, so worst case scenario, I'm just going to be recording it immediately after the podcast. I don't know. Please try to get all your questions in as quickly as you can. I keep yourself up to date with the discussion section here on my YouTube channel and on my Twitter page and on the Facebook page. I will be posting stuff on there, whether or not a time has to change on it. If you want to add any questions or submit any questions via the comment section, please, please, please take a page from Cap's book and put in parentheses Q&A question or Q&A video question or Q&A question or something along that line, so I don't answer it right away. So if you want to know my thoughts on something, but you want me to answer it in the Q&A video, put in parentheses at the end of it Q&A video, like parentheses Q&A video or parentheses Q&A question, and I will add it to the list. Otherwise, I'll answer it right away, and then it kind of just defeats the purpose of a Q&A video. But yeah, that's pretty much how my week's been. Long, tiring, drawn out. Honestly, one long blur. Not happy about it, basically. It's been a lousy week. But, yeah, that's how it's going. So, let's go into the podcast. Let's get this on. Things to do, places to be, and eyelids to close so I can get some sleep, I guess. Alright, so NASA has decided to respond to the whole Avengers Endgame trailer. Now, I talked about the trailer last week. It was really interesting. And like I said, I will be pissed off if they're going to kill off Iron Man. Now, a lot of people are speculating that Captain Marvel is going to save Iron Man because her movie's coming out literally a month before the Avengers one, or a month or two before the Avengers comes out. So there is that. So hopefully she saves him, because I don't want you killing off Iron Man. Iron Man is still cool. I would still love to see a fourth Iron Man movie, but apparently we're never going to get one because Tony Stark's time, Robert Downey Jr.'s time as Tony Stark is over, but still, he's got one more movie in him. Let's have one more movie, Marvel. Then you can throw him to the curb. But anyway, NASA's given some insight as to ways that Tony Stark could be saved, so to speak. And this is kind of an interesting thing because I guess a lot of people were tweeting to NASA, hey, you gotta help, don't let Tony Stark die and everything else. And NASA replied back via Twitter, and it was just really hilarious how they did it. So at NASA on Twitter goes, hey, at Marvel, we heard about Tony Stark. As we know, the first thing you should do is listen in Mission Control for at Avengers. We have a problem. But if he can't communicate, then we recommend ground teams use all resources to scan the skies for your missing man. And it's an interesting thing here. So, they want basically Houston or Mission Control to hear basically a distress call, more or less mirroring the infamous NASA call, Houston, we have a problem, which was actually an incorrect phrase because it's from Apollo 13, which I'll explain in a moment. But it was actually, hey, we have a problem up here, because I do have the book, Space Oddities and things like that. And that was one of the things. It was Houston. It wasn't Houston, we have a problem. It was, hey, we have a problem here. So Houston, we have a problem was what they used in Apollo 13, the movie. It was what Tom Hanks said. And it's just become synonymous where every time you have this massive issue, it's like, Houston, we have a problem. And it's just really cool. So, that's kind of interesting. And for NASA to actually be taking the time to go out of their way to help a fictional character is really interesting because, like I said, NASA would have some experience with people stuck in space because the entire Apollo 13 crew was literally stuck in space for, I think it was like 7 days. I want to say like almost a week or a few days. I know it was either a week or a couple or up to a week, and they were in a living hell, so to speak. So there is that. But it's just, for somebody and a group of people, mind you, at that have the ability to, we've done this before, we've been in this situation before, here's what we've learned, how you could help. It's kind of interesting. So, but in the trailer, though, like I said last week, it seems like Tony Stark is basically up shit creek without a paddle. His food and water basically run out days ago. Oxygen's going to run out in the next morning. Doesn't have an operable communications device, at least not one that can reach the Earth, apparently. And that said, the Avengers who are on the ground should use all their resources to scan the skies for Iron Man, which, unfortunately, in the trailer, Captain America's having a pity party because he wasn't strong enough to stop Thanos, and Black Widow's trying to, comfort him, like, knock it the hell off. Yeah, Bruce Banner, basically sulking, basically sitting there patting the Hulk on the back because Hulk doesn't want to come out and play, and he's trying to, it's okay, it's alright. It's alright, we've all been there before. We could have used you. You could have made the difference, but, it's fine. You want to have a pity party, so to speak. And you figure with so many of the other ones dead and or gone, it's logical. I mean, Thor could technically scour the skies. You still have Rocket from the Guardians of the Galaxy and a few minute characters. So, we do have, most of the characters still around, at least just not as many of them. So, based on the trailer, it looks like we only have a handful of the superheroes available anymore. We got Captain America, Black Widow, the Hulk, and Bruce Banner, Thor, Nebula, and Ant-Man, who makes a wonderful appearance there at the end. That was just great, where he is just standing there outside the front gate, like, hey, remember me? Scott Lang? We met a few months ago, we met about a year ago, a year or two ago at that airport in Germany. Ant-Man, Ant-Man, that's me. You buzz me in, that was the best part of that trailer. But we still have massive intelligence on the team. We have Bruce Banner, who could use his genius to help find Stark, but he's mostly useless right now because he's trying to figure out why the Hulk doesn't want to come out and play. Thor would probably do it, but I don't know if he's going to have it in to go save Tony. I don't know. You still have Rocket, like I said, so we still have somebody that can pilot his ship. So there is that, but it's still an interesting thing nonetheless. But for NASA, like I said, to actually take the time to consider this a good idea and try to help, it's interesting. It really is. But Tony is in a dire situation, basically. Fans don't really know how exactly what's going to happen or how. I don't know. I'm hoping he doesn't die, because I will be pissed off if he does. And I think my one friend and I were talking about this the one time, because I really don't want to see him die. Iron Man is my favorite character. He always has been. And if you up and kill him off, you better be planning to end your franchise on a very high note, because you kill off my favorite one, and if I go to see this and he dies in like the first 10 minutes, I'm walking the hell out. I'm not even going to joke about that. I will literally get up and I'll walk right the hell out of the theater. Because at that point, I don't even want to see the rest of the movie. You just killed Iron Man. I will be pissed. But, yeah, so apparently the co-writer, Stephen McFeely, has added that he thinks Infinity War is a fairly mature movie for a blockbuster. It's got a load of fun in it, obviously, but boy, it gets very mature. The second one is also mature. It's going to have its own, or it's going to own these choices. Hopefully surprise it and delight most of the people that are going to get invested in it. It's by the same studio, the same filmmaking team. They've all written at the same time, shots at the same time, clearly connected, but are definitely two different movies, one of which is dependent on what happened previously. So that's actually pretty cool. So the thing is ended here with, I believe, what's his name? Christopher Marcus saying, "We broke your hearts, now we're going to blow your minds." I guess we're going Mind Freak up in this, which really bugs the crap out of me. So Avengers Endgame is going to be released on April 26th of 2019, and the other upcoming Marvel Universe, or the Marvel MCU, basically, movies, is Captain Marvel coming out on March 8th of next year, so it will come out almost about a month before Endgame. And Spider-Man Far From Home is going to be in July. So at least we know that Spider-Man is coming back, so that's a good sign. I hope. But either way, please do not kill off Tony Stark. And Tony Stark, if you can hear us out there in space, Iron Man, if you can hear us, this is planet Earth. We have your signal. Don't worry, I'll send Tom and the Absolution. They should find you. They're scouring the universe for you as we speak. I hope. Just look for a giant ship. It's called the Vindication. That should help you out tremendously. But yeah, I mean, it sucks he's like far away from home in the trailer and everything else, but I'm really am hoping that he doesn't die. Because that would piss me off. Because like, that's going to be how we're going to end this. You should have just killed him off in the first one and just not had me invested in wanting to see the finale of it, basically. But now I want to see the finale because of how stupidly the first one ended. I want to know what happens next. And I mean stupid in a unique way because, Thanos snaps or does his little half-ass snap thing with all the Infinity Gems. There goes half the universe. Exactly 50% of all life in the universe is wiped the hell out. So it's either take the loss and live with it, which in all honesty you could just do. But no, we're not going to do that. Or formulate a plan to try to MacGuffin your way out of this, which I don't see how in the hell you're going to MacGuffin this except with the Time Stone, and yeah, it just gets into completely overrated stuff at that point. But you never know what's going to happen. It's a Marvel movie. It's owned by Disney. You never know. But here's hoping they don't kill Iron Man, because I will be pissed if they do. The Absolutely Completely Random Podcast will be right back after I find my notes and my head and my dimensional transporter and anything else that fell out of my pockets. It's kind got to be here somewhere. Hi, everybody. This is Andrew Rhodes from the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I'm inviting you to check out my podcast every single week here on YouTube. I talk about articles throughout the week that have to deal with anime, manga, video games, technology, and movies. All of which I usually read back the article, then give you my thoughts and opinions on them included. Not to mention some humor now and then. Occasionally I have a special guest with me, Professor Sherman Klump, and otherwise I'm by myself. So if you're interested in anime, manga, movies, technology, or video games, come check out the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. New episodes are uploaded every Sunday, only on YouTube. Whoa, whoa, whoa! You can put down the remote and don't click off the browser. We're back. I told you it wouldn't take long. Alright, so anybody that's ever seen the anime series Saint Seiya, I always call it Saint Celia, and I always mispronounced it. I do apologize. Or if you know it by its English title, Knights of the Zodiac, you just know it by that title, and you have access to a Netflix account, you may be in for a cringeworthy little treat, I should say. So, following in such wonderful reboot lines, as in Reboot the Guardian Code and all the other crap that released this year, and that Netflix is constantly, jumping to the limelight for, they've already announced one of their new series debuting next year, preferably next summer. And it is the CG, it's basically like a CGI or CG version of Knights of the Zodiac. And fans are not taking well to this, at all. I never actually could get into this, and I'm going to explain that. I could never follow this series. Even when Knights of the Zodiac was airing on like Toonami or on Cartoon Network in general, I could not follow it to save my life. And that's not saying that I didn't try. But it was literally one of those series that if you missed an episode, forget it. You were lost. Because so much crap happens in an episode, even if it's minute, small, and or filler, that it literally right through you. It just blows right past you, and then you're completely lost. It's almost like the X-Files of anime. You miss an episode, and you're screwed. Now, that could just be my interpretation of it. I don't know. If you out there like it, that's, more power to you. That's just how I feel. So, Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Celia follows Saint Seiya. I apologize again. God damn it. I cannot keep mispronouncing this. Follows the modern-day adventures of young warriors called knights who are sworn protectors of the reincarnated Greek goddess Athena. Each knight wears a powerful armor based on their chosen zodiac constellation, and are called Knights of the Zodiac. They aid Athena in her battle against powerful Olympian gods who are bent on destroying the humankind. Yeah. The original manga was published from 1986 to 1990. It's inspired a number of television anime, original video animation projects, anime films, and spin-off manga. Netflix is just doing this, honestly, I think, to either capitalize on rebooting the crap out of stuff or massive money. I don't know which at this point. But either way, fans are not taking well to this. Changing up one of the characters, apparently they changed the gender. One character was male, it's now female character. Fans are not too proud about that. You have fans flipping out over the fact that it's CG, which honestly would be my biggest issue. Taking that, Netflix recently acquired the rights for Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I talked about on here, I think it was either last week or the week before, and I even did a rant video on it, because I just found out that, oh yeah, on top of basically getting the quote-unquote, this is the part that I love too, by the way, getting the quote-unquote series, they're redubbing it. So it's kind of making me wonder, are they actually redubbing it, or are they just making a whole new series with the IP? Because this does not bode well to explain to me that they're not just going to make a brand new series with the IP. It's like, Oh no, we have Neon Genesis Evangelion, the IP, but we've remastered this thing. You know, new graphics, new animation styles, new dubbing. That's all beautiful. That's what's scaring the crap out of me. So, I'm not a tremendous fan of this idea. I saw the trailer for this too, and honestly, it made me queasy. I'm not even gonna lie. I felt bad after I felt bad after watching this. I felt like I was cheating on somebody. Like, oh my god, it's so freaking horrible that I just couldn't, bear it anymore. But yeah, still, it's not exactly an uncommon thing to have, but that's just something to say the least. Now, yes, I have said it before, and I will say it 1,000 times over until I'm blue in the face. You shouldn't reboot classic anime series. I don't care how popular they are, when they were popular, how long they've been popular. You don't reboot series like this. This is like the retconning of Dragon Ball with Dragon Ball Super Broly. The whole origin lore is now getting retconned, basically. You have sort of like the Eva films for 1.11 and so on. Basically reconfiguring the plot and everything else, the backstory and all that. It's literally what we're dealing with here. And what's disturbing about this is the fact that while everybody here enjoys the series, you also have to take into consideration that while the series is loved by so many, those people are getting older. So they're going to try to pander to the newer generation, which going this route may do more harm than good. I mean, if you want a good example of how this is a bad idea, let's look at most of Nickelodeon's shows that involved CGI and CG animation. You got Jimmy Neutron, The Adventures of Fanboy and Chum Chum. There's a couple other ones that are not coming to my mind right now because my mind's just trying to process everything. But you have all of that literally going on, and it's basically, yeah, we're just going to do this, screw you, and everything else. And it doesn't really work that way because, stuff happens. But fans are not going to enjoy something like this if they feel like it's being dumbed down for them. And I've watched the trailer, like I said. I wasn't that big a fan of the series to begin with either, but if this would have been the series that came out years ago, I would have turned it away in a heartbeat. The trailer just looks like it was slapped together. And I mean, slapped together well, but it felt like they were just really showing off the high points, as they wanted to put it. As like, this is what we're bringing to the party. We're not bringing anything else but this. That's what they brought, and it's like, I don't really like it. But then again, to each their own. It's my prerogative. I don't like it. That doesn't mean you don't have to. It's just my way of processing it. I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, it's not a bad thing, but still I want to say it's a joke in a way, but still, I just don't know how to handle that. But anyway, it could be bad, it could be worse, but with Netflix screwing themselves over so badly now, I don't really know what to believe anymore, because you have them canceling Daredevil, they canceled Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the list is just going to go on, because Jessica Jones is going to be next, and The Punisher. Once those are all gone, what's Netflix going to have besides cheesy movies and whatever IPs they can get their hands on? They're trying to stretch themselves out so far, and at the same time, it's backfiring, I think, because they're trying to gather everything they can get their hands on to keep their asses afloat, knowing that it's almost like they're expecting themselves to be the only game left in town, and they're trying to get everybody on their boat. It's like they have an ark, they have this giant yacht, this cruise liner, this aircraft carrier, whatever big ship you want to use, and it's like, just get everybody on our boat, they'll be fine. And you have some things on there that are way expired, some things on there that should have never been rebooted, and they're going to be stuck with that crap for a while. So, yeah, I don't really know how to explain it, but still, I mean, it's just one of those things that makes no freaking sense as far as I'm concerned. But as far as this whole trailer for it, it was god-awful. I'm not even going to lie. While the action scenes were kind of interesting, it did kind of have a coming right at you sort of feel. At the same time, would I spend the money to go see it? God, no. I would skip that in a heartbeat, and I have my reasons why. But still, I don't like it. It didn't sing for me, and I'm not the only one, so I can't be hated on this, but that was just seriously bad in every way, shape, and form of the word. It was horrible. It really was. This is Andrew Rhodes, and you're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Because otherwise you wouldn't be hearing this, and I probably wouldn't be on here. Alright, so I kind of hate when I spend a tremendous amount of time singing the praises of an anime series. And I mean, going to bat for it, going to town telling people, no, the series is just wonderful. The crap that you're hearing is just pissed off fanboys that are upset because their series isn't number one. Only for the series that I'm defending till I'm blue in the face to suddenly turn around and pump out an episode that even makes me question, am I singing this thing's praises? Why the hell am I doing it? And that happened last week. So, for those of you out there that have been following along with Sword Art Online Alicization, which I finally know how to pronounce now, thank you, anime series, there's been a build-up in the story. And what the build-up is basically Yugo and Kirito were told about some illicit activity between one of the other higher-ups and that higher-up's page. And what's been going on is apparently some illicit activities, which culminated last week's episode into basically getting a... there's no really good, easy way for me to beat around the bush on this, so I'm just going to come right out and say it, and I apologize in advance to those that feel a little dirty about it. You can tune me out if you want for this one, but there really is no way of beating around the bush on this. Basically, the higher-up wanted his page to give him a blowjob. And basically have sexual intercourse with that person. And keep in mind, these characters are young. We're talking like teenagers here. And I don't mean, 13. I mean like literal teenagers here. So, it was disturbing to say the least. And they were implying this in episode 9, and I was like, okay, let this be a plot point that goes nowhere or gets quickly resolved. And yeah, it got resolved. Sadly, last Saturday when the episode aired over in Japan, and oh my God, was it dark! I mean, the Crunchyroll, I think it was Crunchyroll. Yeah, Crunchyroll's thing had started up with, and I quote, the following... Yeah, here it is. The episode streaming on Crunchyroll opens with the following content warning. Warning for violence and sexual assault. And they did not lie. This thing was dark as dark could be. You had Kirito and Yugo's pages were basically being assaulted by the two who were assaulting their roommate, mind you. The two pages' roommate decided, hey, we're gonna, tie him up, put him in our bed in our room. Yugo's gonna show up, get pissed off, and he's gonna have to watch the show because we're lords in this world, and our law says that we can do whatever we want, nobody can stop us, and it doesn't violate the code of the taboo, as it were. So you had to watch this. Happily, there were some scenes that were cut. I thank every animator for that cut scenes. Oh, God, it was horrible. Well, this prompted, and let me just finish out how this ends so I can just move on with this. So, Kirito shows up, all hell breaks loose, Yugo cuts the one's arm off. Not the page, one of the lords. Cuts the arm off. Kirito goes for the kill, and finishes off the other one by slicing both the arms off. And thus the end of that chapter began. They ended up getting caught by the headed angel being that we saw at the start of the series back in, I think it was episode 1 or 2. I think it was episode 1. And it's, boom, there you go. That's it. So now they're in trouble, and they've basically now met up with Alice again. That's where the episode ends. This episode was so dark, people were comparing it to Goblin Slayer. And Goblin Slayer, I could only watch 2 episodes of, and I couldn't stand it anymore. I'm not a big fan of gory stuff. I cannot stand it to a passion. I'm not a fan of, like, gory horror films, thriller, slasher flicks, stuff like that. I can't stand them. Now, if something happens like an action movie or something where somebody's, like, you know, killed off or something and they're oozing blood, that's different because it's not a gory, you know, horror film. It's an action film. Your mind's anticipating that's going to happen. But this was completely out of left field, and as this is happening, I kept pausing the video and I'm like, please tell me that this is just going to suddenly stop. This isn't going to go the direction I think it's going, and it just kept going and going and going. Well, this has prompted the creator of Sword Art Online, the actual light novel itself, which this is based on. The author, Reki Kawahara, took to Twitter to apologize to the anime's voice actors after the latest episode aired. I would have apologized to the fans first and the voice actors at the same time. Because, honestly, the fans are the ones that had to sit through that. While the voice actors had to record it, the fans had to sit through it. So we should all be getting an apology from you, not just them. Okay? That I want to stress right here. So, this episode apparently was considered widely the most graphic and violent of the series to date. You ain't even kidding. The crap at the end of Season 2, or at the end of the second half of Season 1, pales in comparison to this. And I mean, it pales in comparison to this. If you thought that was dark, this basically beat that over the head, stuffed it into a sack, and went mafia style, dumping it into a river. I'm not even joking. It was horrible. So, oh God, it was horrible. Kawahara said that Miss Ishihara, who plays Tenise, and Miss Konodo, or Kondo, I do apologize if I mispronounced your names, by the way, who plays Rione, Rione, both performed a painful scene with, a plum. Thank you so much, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It just was one of those things that you were not expecting to come out of left field with this series. Like I said, they did build up to it with episode 9, but you were just kept hoping that, okay, this is not going to go anywhere. It's honestly just going to be a B plot. They're going to drop halfway through, and we can just move on with our lives, and it wasn't. So, it was disturbing, okay, tremendously. Some people responded to Kawahara's tweet saying, thank you. I think that everyone became stronger because of the experience. They'll continue to work alongside Rione. Looking forward to what happens next. And that was the one voice actor or actress. In a later tweet, Kawahara expressed further ambivalence about the episode's content and offered an explanation for why the series contained multiple instances of sexual assault. This may be a bit late, and I'm quoting here, but if you're wondering why SAO has so many of these scenes, it's considerable number of light novels, although they weren't called light novels back then, epic sagas and adventure stories I read back in middle school contained those plot elements. I would cite, Ogen Hakusha from Goldspur as a representative title. My writing is bound to be, or to that, as if it were under a spell. These days, though, the spell's worn off. Nowadays, I would prefer to express catharsis through other means. If it was an absolutely necessary scene for the story, I would write it. But I would prefer to do that in a book that isn't a light novel. Kawahara also indicated his surprise at the anime adaptation, which he believes made the content of his light novels even more extreme. I believe that the level of grittiness in SAO is extremely average for light novels. The directing, animation, and voice acting in the anime are too powerful, which has absolutely boosted the impact of the scenes, which would have thought Rios would make such an aggravated jump. It was dark. It was disturbing. What I'm mostly worried about at this point is how badly it's going to affect fans. Because, and I really want you to think about this here for a minute. We're going dark. Dark anime has its own style of fans, and those aren't the ones you want to have all the time. The episode is extremely violent, it's extremely dark, it is sickening. And honestly, it's just a horrible style of doing here. But with Reki Kawahara apologizing, that's when you know you screwed up. Literally, when the author of the light novel is coming out and having to apologize because, I'm really sorry, this should have never happened. Oh my God, I cannot express how upset I am at this. That's literally when you know your ass is grass. Mostly because, oh crap, I screwed up big. You know you're in trouble at that point because, oops, I didn't mean to do that, but apparently I did. That's when you know your ass is in trouble and everything is bad news. But like I said, this was dark, and I mean dark. And it's never a good thing when an anime series that literally is starting off each and every episode without a warning label suddenly has a warning label. That's when you know your ass is in trouble because, like, uh-oh, somebody either fucked up or somebody didn't get the memo that this isn't a dark anime. Because it's not a dark anime, but hey, surprise, it's a dark anime now. It was disturbing. I'm not going to lie. It's even making me question whether or not I want to finish watching it, to be honest with you. I would rather watch 1,000 episodes of Gridman over and over and over again than honestly watch another week of SAO Alicization. That being said, and I apologize, I had to get a drink there. My throat was starting to get a little dry. That being said, I honestly, I'm going to try to watch this week's, mostly because I just want to see what happens, but I'm just really, that was disturbing. Beyond a doubt. I mean, if you want to go hentai route for your series, fine. Then write it as a hentai. Don't write it as this is going to be an episode of my anime series. It's just going to get really dark for an episode, but it'll be fine. Because, here's a news flash for you, it's not going to go fine. Fans are going to get pissed. They're going to get mad. They're going to get angry. They're going to get annoyed, and you are going to get screwed. And that, honestly, I believe is the case that happened here. It did not end well. It was not going to end well. You knew it wasn't going to end well, and yet here we are. So, yeah, it was dark. That's the biggest takeaway from this. It was dark. And I mean darker than dark. It was just, oh God, it was horrible. You're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. At least I hope you still are. Are you? Alright, it hasn't been a while since I talked about a Tales game. I remember playing Tales of Symphonia on the GameCube. It was one of my favorite games. 2 discs, a hell of a lot of fun. I even did the secret side mission where you could unlock the most powerful weapons in the game. The evil weapons. For every single character. And God, was that fun. Difficult, challenging, but fun. Well, For those of you who still like the Tales series and are a huge fan of smartphone games, Tales of Crestoria might be for you. And I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing it. It could be Crestoria or Crestoria. I'm not sure. But anyway, the game's full concept video streamed yesterday, which was Friday. Bandai Namco began streaming the full concept movie on Friday for the Tales of Crestoria smartphone game. The game's English Twitter account is streaming an English version of the video. So it's a full version of the concept movie created by Yatsutaka Nakata, ex Kamikaze Doga. Yeah. Some surprise guests show up in the video after Kanata, Micelia, and Vicious fight with the enforcers, weaving a new tale, I should say, in Kanata's world. You don't want to miss the end. Tales of Crestoria. Hashtag Tales of Crestoria, I should say. So, this thing is huge. It's blowing up really good on there. The game is going to star a decent amount of people. I'm not going to try to pronounce their names. It's in the description. You can pull up the link in the description. It's all in there because I'm going to butcher every single one of those. I know it. I just know I am. It's just, I don't want to try. The videos also revealed the main cast and staff, which studio is handling the animation for the game, and everything else. But this sounds pretty cool. I didn't get to see the trailer yet, but it sounds pretty cool. The theme of the game is sin, and the main character, burdened with sin, lives in order to protect someone precious to him. The game's full story is available to read on the game's English Twitter account. Tomomi Tagawa, I should say, serving as the game's producer. The game will be free to play, but some items will be available for purchase. Pre-registration is available now in Japan, and all players will receive in-game bonuses depending on the number of pre-registrations. Bandai Namco Entertainment will also release the game in English. The Japanese and English versions are scheduled to launch in 2019. Holy crap! It's another Bandai Namco game. So which one are they getting rid of this time? That's the billion-dollar question that we have to answer. What game are they getting rid of this time? Because it's Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco has a habit of every time they have a new game coming out, an old game's got to go away. Hey, look, Digimon Lynx is coming out. Time to get rid of Digimon Heroes. Hey, there's a new Naruto game coming out. Well, I think we got a Naruto game we can get rid of, possibly. Yeah, we do. It's a crappy one nobody plays anymore. We'll get rid of that. At least I'm pretty sure they got rid of it. I know they got rid of Digimon. I think there was a Naruto game that suddenly disappeared. Don't quote me. But still, it's an interesting concept, so there's going to be a new Tales game. That's going to be cool. I know one of my fans is going to probably get a kick out of that and go, crap, I don't have any room on my phone anymore. That's when you go through, it's like, okay, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. I really want to get this. I still don't need this, or this. So, yeah. It's going to be an interesting video. Or at least a very interesting moment there. It's like, I want to get rid of so much of this stuff. But with the age of smartphones and everything else, it's not surprising that more games are coming out, especially games like this. The whole digital era is going to be taking over video games. It's going to be a wonderful time where you can just literally download it free to play and just have microtransactions, which is what a lot of gaming companies are trying to move into, especially console ones, because you can get games on the PlayStation Network, on Xbox's network, the Switch, the Nintendo eShop or Direct Shop, whatever the hell they call it. So they're trying to get people to do more of the digital end, buy the digital copy, same amount of money, or just download the free digital copy and spend a crap ton of money inside the game. And hey, we'll still get our money either way. We don't care how we get it, but we're going to get it. And truthfully, that's how they roll. It always will be how they roll, because that's what's unique about them. It's just a strange, strange thing that happens. Whether or not it's a good thing, I don't know. It's just one of those that's up in the air. Nobody really knows until it happens sort of deal. But yeah, it wouldn't be bad to finally get some decent closure for this series. I shouldn't really say closure. This thing can go on for eternity. But at least get some decent, games like this for smartphones, tablets, stuff like that. I'm still waiting for the Golden Sun game, though, because let's remake that into tablet form. I could play that all day long. I'm not even joking. That would be cool and epic and unique, and I would play that thing all day long in a heartbeat. But yeah, so there's something to look forward to if you're a Tales fan. Pick up the game, download it when it comes out, or pre-register and check it out. You never know what could happen. I mean, it could be fun. Might be the next fun thing you ever play. Who knows? Who really, really knows?
This is Professor Sherman T. Clump, and you're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Now, if you excuse me, I gotta go back to my sandwich. It's calling me from the fridge.
Welcome to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Well, okay, you're already listening to the podcast if you're hearing me. But anyway, the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast is a podcast that I put up here every Sunday on YouTube, where I talk about topics and articles that I find throughout the entire week. So, if you like what you hear, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you're brought up to date with all my videos, including Andrew Rants and Andrew's Theories. I also do some reviews from time to time, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyway, let me know, and don't forget to hit that lovely subscribe button. You're listening to the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. At least I hope you still are. Are you? Alrighty, everybody, I think that's going to do it this week for the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. Amount of topics. Yeah, that's kind of a bad thing. This has been like a short week. I'm not going to lie here. It's been brutal for me, and it's just short on topics because I just got hammered so badly at work this week. Plus, there are some other things, but unfortunately, one's going to be a rant video, and just so much other stuff, basically. But, yeah, I think that's going to do it this week for the podcast. I apologize if this seems like it was phoned in. Like I said, it's been a long week. I do apologize if it feels like it's phoned in. If it feels forced, I do apologize. I am sorry. Believe me, I am very, very, very sorry if it is. But otherwise, yeah. Well, as usual, if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss that you have out there, feel free to send them to me one of the few ways. Either via the YouTube discussion page, which you can find by using your desktop or laptop and going to the discussion section of my YouTube channel. It is not currently yet available for mobile devices, or so it keeps telling me. The Twitter page that I mentioned earlier, at Otaku Roads, is my Twitter page where you can drop any questions or topics you'd like me to try to answer here on the podcast. You can also drop the message in the official Web Designer 18 Facebook page, which you can find also in the About Me section along with the Twitter page. There are links to both of those, at least I'm pretty sure there were last time I checked. And there's also the podcast email, which is all lowercase acrpodcast@gmail.com. And until next week, I'm Andrew Rhodes. This has been the Absolutely Completely Random Podcast. I am tired. I am sleepy. I think I'm going to be going to bed and calling it a night. Thank you so much, everybody. And until next week, well, just keep doing you, and I'll keep doing me, and we'll see how that goes, won't we? Thanks, everybody, for being here, and I'll catch you all next time.